Hey, I have no real military experience except for training in the reserves more than 25 years ago, just getting the most basic of training. I am a driver psychologist, so looking at the videos of the armored vehicles uh, that are driven by Russians in Ukraine, I can tell you that they seem like novices, like they're confused. They don't have any specific orders. They are almost like the lightning rod, like the first wave. And I believe they are still pretty much in the first wave now, still on the 28th, although there's probably some underground snipers still that were probably sent before, during, and will likely keep coming. So I can tell you that the Russians are very confused that are there now, and they are the most easily manipulated new ones, younger ones, most gullible ones, which is maybe at high military levels, a good strategic move if, let's say, you're defending your planet against alien invaders, but to actually act against your own people and your own planet in this way is total mental illness, and it's yes, it is crimes against your own people, not just humanity in other countries, but from your own citizens. So of course, I mean, I don't know if he'll survive this, Putin, from his own surroundings ending him, but one day he might be overconfident, and the mother of a soldier that was manipulated in this way, will have her revenge, and it's sad because what I said before is it's mostly related to the monetary paradigms, right? There's no scientific paradigms involved here, because if you apply the scientific paradigms, which includes a worldview that is ecocentric, then there's no more war. But there is always religious elements to things, and it is kind of a religious cult type of thinking sometimes too. Just like in China and the United States of America and in Russia, is there's too much of a ideology that's based on the state as if it exists, as if a nation exists, in an ecocentric world. So it's a disconnection from reality, and it makes it easier to manipulate people. And Putin suffers from this, because if he didn't suffer from this, it wouldn't be that easy for him to manipulate people for so long. I've recently posted on my Facebook a BBC interview with Gorbachev, if I pronounced his name properly, from 2 years ago, a past president, and it's interesting what he says. It's like 8 minutes, so it's a good thing to go see. Anyways, what I'm seeing here is that even with these supposed negotiations going on right now, it's very likely that this lightning rod was assessing many things, and of course, what it assessed has two outcomes. It's either the negotiations will go through in a few days, after still many more deaths that might eventually find somebody turning against Putin within his own environments and systems, social systems, whether he's in Russia at the time or somewhere else. Or it'll be that the second wave or the third wave is coming, and they are, the best military personnel with more efficient methods than just being the gullible lightning rod that has first come in. I mean, we know that their military is big and equipped, and that they can communicate in their languages efficiently when they choose to. Of course, they didn't choose to communicate with this first wave because they were used as a expendable shield and data gathering uh, um, first wave. And I'm not saying that the data is coming from this first wave. It's coming from the reactions to this first wave. So it's not like they are on the same team, right? The first wave, second wave, third wave of Russians are not on the same team. Like the elites in the army are as much against the gullible novices of their own Russian military, and that's what you get with toxic ideologies like this. It's pretty sad to see this, and nobody should say that it's okay for there being a Russian victims either. Okay, they are also a victim of the failed monetary and religious paradigms. There's only one paradigm that is not an evolutionary dead end, and it's a worldview that we are all part of this ecocentric, hyper-complex system that is perfectly suited to life such as us, and that had a resiliency and a stability allowing it to further evolve into something that it will no longer ever become because of our species and how it adopted for too long these failed monetary paradigms, tribe versus tribe mentalities, religious paradigms, elite status in society type paradigms, and also the ignorance of avoiding favoring the scientific paradigms even thousands of years ago. So it's not something that you can catch up on, because the toxicity of money and assets and power levels and religions, which has the same three I just mentioned in there as well, it's all interconnected. They are so flawed, and they've been allowed for so long, and now there's weapons of mass destruction, and 99.7% of you have dysfunctional brains that are, in difficulty, your brains, right? And even the people in power using the people with other dysfunctional brains also have dysfunctional brains. Otherwise, they wouldn't think it's okay to manipulate, their own citizens in this way. So it's pretty sad. I mean, it's sad seeing these things there, but I mean, if I'm in Uganda, I saw the same things, happening within their own people. They don't need enemies from elsewhere. You don't really need enemies from anywhere. If you've got monetary paradigms and religious paradigms, you can just say that your actions are based on other enemies, but you can always self-destruct within your own societies, even if you're alone on a desert island and your proto-society. If we were a planet where our minds and behaviors are exactly the same, and we are 5 different continents that have not currently learned about each other existing in other continents, we would all self-destruct. Anyways, without needing to even discover that there's another island and another proto-society that has the same flaws as us that we can blame for our own flaws. We can all self-destruct independently with the way our minds have always worked as a species since our birth, and it's gotten worse because of domestications and flawed paradigms and dysfunctional brains that have gotten worse because of not pursuing, the scientific paradigms, including psychology, including metapsychology, including knowing ourselves without turning that into a weapon to control others, because of religions and monetary paradigms promoting that more than equality and a healthy, resilient social system that could evolve into something like the world of Star Trek: The Next Generation. So we're very far from that. And again, people, no more kids by accident. Things are not going to get better. We just heard of a new report today that is, again, like most people were predicting, a lot worse than what we thought, because we can't handle the truth, even in the scientific paradigms, because the truth is overwhelming at this stage of our history as a failed species. But do we have to treat each other in this way as we are realizing how failed we are as a species? Do we have to become worse during our collapse? Or can we at least die with some dignity?